my name is Beau, if you don't know already, and in the past 12 months, my online business, my personal brand, has generated 6 figures in revenue, and I've worked on average maybe 15 to 20 hours a week during that time period. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I was able to do that and how you might do the same. Now, the most important thing here, I think, is the belief that this is possible. If you don't believe that it's possible to make 6 figures working 15 to 20 hours a week, then you'll look for reasons why it can't work for you. If you believe it's possible, however, then you'll look for ways to make that happen. So if you're skeptical, if you don't think that's possible, then this video probably isn't for you. So one of the most important things when it comes to making this happen is you have to have the right business model. Without the right business model, it'll be very difficult to achieve 6 figures working less than 20 hours a week. Now, there are many ways you can make that happen. However, I'll just tell you how I did it myself. The way that I did this is I created what I call a mid-ticket digital product. Mid-ticket products are products that are priced between about $200 and $1,000. And the great thing about these types of products is they can be mostly automated and they can be sold pretty much passively. So once you create the product, once you set up the systems that sell that product for you on autopilot, it just runs for years and years and years to come. And you can continue to generate sales of that product for years to come without any ongoing work except for promoting the product. So I don't have to deliver coaching or do done-for-you services or anything like that. So it's very passive. That's the big benefit of this business model. There are certainly other ways to make this happen. However, this is just my preferred way of doing it. And I'm not going to sit here and teach you something that I haven't done myself. So for the past several years, I've been making a full-time income from purely mid-ticket digital products. Most of my income over the past several years has been from these types of products. And so I like to teach others how to do this as well. The other thing you're going to need is a systems-based approach. So you have to find ways to remove the time for money trade. So anything that you're going to do more than once, anything that is going to be repeated, should be automated or delegated whenever possible. So for example, if you have a product, one thing that you're going to have to do is sell that product. You're going to have to promote that product, right? You have to get it out there, get the message out there. But what I like to do is I like to automate this part of the process. I like to set up automated selling systems that sell the product for me. So all I have to do really is show up and help people, and people naturally find my product. They naturally go through my automated selling systems that I've set up, and they can purchase my product without me ever having to talk to them. So to make this possible, you really have to focus on systems and hyper efficiency. Everything should be as efficient as possible. You shouldn't be doing things manually if those things can be automated or delegated to somebody else. The other thing you're going to need is clear boundaries and focus. Achieving a 6-figure income working very few hours is more about what you don't do than it is about what you do. In this online world, there's going to be so many things coming at you, so many quote unquote good opportunities that cross your path, and you're going to have to learn how to say no to pretty much all of them. You cannot afford to spread yourself thin. Almost all of my income in the past 12 months came from one product that I sell. And basically all I've done is I've just focused on making the product better and better and just selling it over and over and over again and just getting more eyeballs on that product. So instead of trying to be on all the social media platforms, instead of trying to create and sell multiple different types of products and launching new things all the time, I focused relentlessly on one thing. And I believe that is the key to my success. I also did this back in 2019 with a business partner. Me and a business partner scaled a business to multiple 6 figures in less than a year. And we did that by doing the same exact thing I'm doing now. We focused on selling one product. We focused on one social media platform. At the time, that was Facebook. And we just went all in on that for about 2 years. So you have to avoid the shiny objects. I tell this to people all the time. You will be tempted constantly. You'll be tempted to go take on another project, to take on a client, or to do this other thing, or to go be a guest speaker somewhere, or be on somebody's podcast, or launch a low ticket product or a membership site or whatever. There's all these things you could be doing, and you'll be tempted to do all of them probably at some point. But again, success is really more about what you don't do. It's about saying no. Not every good opportunity is an opportunity you should pursue. With that said, I want to give you some practical advice about how you might achieve this yourself and how you can kind of structure your schedule so that you can achieve this. I recommend using what I call the priority planning system, which you can see here on the screen. The 4 columns represent days of the week. So I recommend that you try to achieve a 4-day work week. 4 days on, 3 days off. You can split that up however you like, but I think as a creator, someone with a creative online business or personal brand, it's really important to have time off. You need time off to think, to contemplate, to read books maybe, to fill your mind with new information and to relax so that you can get inspired again. If you're working 7 days a week, it's going to be very hard for you to maintain that output. And eventually you're going to burn out, and it's going to create a lot of chaos in your schedule, and you're not going to be able to be consistent. So I recommend a 4-day work week. And each day of the week, you have a maximum of 4 different priorities. Now, how much time you give each one of these priorities will depend on how much time you have. Like if you're working a full-time job right now and you're not full-time in your business yet, then you might only have a couple hours a day. So you might only be able to give like 1 hour to your level 1 priority and then like 20 minutes to your other priorities. But if you're a full-time business owner, maybe you have, 4 to 6 hours a day that you can dedicate to this. Ideally, you don't want to work more than 5 hours a day, 4 days a week, if you want to be under 20 hours a week. So that might look like 2 hours a day in your level 1 priorities and then 1 hour a day in your other priorities. So you have to determine what are these things. What is your level 1 priority? What is the most important thing in your business? The thing that makes everything else easier, or the thing that makes everything else possible? For me, the level 1 priority is writing. If I'm writing for at least an hour every day, then that gives me all of the raw material that I need to create all the content that I need in my business, to create my products, to write sales copy and everything else. A lot of what I do in my business stems from writing. So that is my level 1 priority. That's the first thing I focus on every day. Level 2 priorities might look like recording video content, posting it on social media, that type of thing. Level 3 and level 4 might look like more administrative type tasks like customer service or checking in on your clients or talking to your team members, having meetings, stuff like that. So you want to plan this out for yourself. And then the most important thing is that you don't deviate from this. You have to be very strict with yourself. You're going to be tempted constantly to add new things to your plate, to take on new projects, and you'll have this scope creep happen where your schedule just gets fuller and fuller and fuller as you take on more and more things. And eventually you have no time for anything, and you're so spread thin that everything starts to fall apart and nothing really works that well. So just keep that in mind. Like, you're going to be tempted, so you have to be able to be aware and recognize when you're being tempted to take on a new thing. And if you are going to take on a new thing, you have to make sure that it can fit into the schedule. If it doesn't fit into the schedule, it means you need to get rid of something that's in there, or you need to delegate things or systemize or automate things so that you can fit it in. If it doesn't fit into the 20-hour-a-week schedule, then you should really strongly consider not adding that thing in, at least until you make room for it. It just comes down to prioritizing what really matters and getting rid of all the non-essentials. Figuring out what are the real needle movers in your business. What are the things that matter above all else? And then finding ways to get rid of the things that don't move the needle, or at the very least, outsourcing those things, delegating them to others, or automating those things. So that is how I would do it. If I had to start over again, these are just things that I would keep in mind if I was trying to grow a 6-figure online business and work as few hours as possible. These are just some general principles that I think you should follow. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions for me, feel free to post them down below, and I hope to chat with you soon.